voice of the government strong, breaking it down in a lyrical song. JNB and JKK on the mission again, building up the nation from now till when. From the city lights to the village lane, you can see the progress, you can't complain. Road development, that's JNB and JKK. School rising up, yeah, we say okay. Health improvement every single day, JNB and JKK lead the way. Roads from farms to market, that's JNB and JKK. Security standing firm, no delay. Once development, hear the people say, the Libyan people loud and clear today. From the hills to the coast, feel the vibration. Unity rising across the nation. Concrete dreams turning reality. Step by step toward prosperity. Children in school with books in hand. Future getting brighter across the land. Hospitals working, people getting care. Hope in the system everywhere. Say JMB, say JKK. Progress moving every single day. Say forward, never back. Development on the right track. Road development, that's JMB and JKK. School rising up, yeah, we say okay. Health improvement every single day. JMB and JKK lead the way. So tune in close, don't fade away. This is a political replay. Voices strong, hear what we say. Libya rising, brighter day. Whoa.
Welcome, guys, to the close. Welcome to the political replay. Welcome, share the podcast. As you get there, just share the podcast. We are here. Um, so, guys, I'm coming. Where is my screen? It should be. I'm trying to get my screen, guys. Just 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. So let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here on this live Facebook.
A party makes an application to the court of jure tempore, the judge will stop that whole proceeding and conduct an investigation. That is the law. But when there is no complaint,
Share the podcast,
while
guys.
the jury have been pulled and then the verdict have been recorded and the parties have given thanks to the juror and they disbanded the juror and they go into their private life, you cannot, because it is issue of jurisdiction. The authority to call a jury about a proceeding in the February term of court is an issue of jurisdiction. The judge presently has no jurisdiction to review a past term. February term, he has no jurisdiction. He's a fine gentleman. He's a fine judge, smart judge, eloquent judge. But in this one, he's in error. He's in error. This is not with any disrespect to him. We appreciate him. We really admire him with the manner and form that he conducted the trial. And he did his work.
Share and leave your comment.
Any attempt for somebody to come and impress on the court to revise a litigation that has gone through due process consistent with the Constitution and calling for an investigation is an attempt to even ask the judge to undermine his own decision. And we as arm of the court will not allow that to sit here, and that's why we went to the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court speak. We don't want favor from the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court must look at the law. That's all we want. And that's what the Supreme Court is all about. The law. Go and look at the law. They will look at the law and say, oh yes, this is the law, and yeah, no, this is not the law. Finish. So that is what we call you for. And so on this basis, we want to say to you that we have filed a petition for the issuance of the writ of prohibition before the Honorable Supreme Court, and that there is a stay order on the investigation because this is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt. We cannot change the laws because of Samuel 12. We can't do that. The country will stay, we will go. We need to be reminded by history. There were powerful people in this country. Some of us who were young, little bit in age, in the 80s, we saw people, men that we saw in this town.
In Marcia,
Second King, we saw them that they were people who have never served government before.
the podcast, guys.
Come in government, we go, but this is the law. We can't change the law. This is a witch hunt. Imagine. Immediately after the verdict, the next day we receive a call and a letter summarizing the former finance minister for another criminal investigation. You don't have to be a politician or a political scientist to understand that this is not a witch hunt. This is witch hunt. This is witch hunt. If I were a prosecutor, I would not issue that kind of assignment or request. But this is witch hunt. And we listen to some practitioners even inviting the finance minister. They say even if you get the authorize the money to go to somebody, spending agency, your duty is to follow up with that spending agency and ask them how they spend the money. Is that the authority under the PFM law of the Minister of Finance? No. The Minister of Finance, his authority is to spend the money, and when he's spending the money, he must have the authorized authority. Who is responsible? The spending agency must account for how they spend the money. That's why we have the GAC to conduct audit. So this is witch hunt. So when somebody tells me that because the finance minister authorized expenditure and you are going to make a follow-up, you kidding me? The finance minister of the country? I don't understand. But this is not good for our democracy. For those who don't know, some who are actors in our body politics, some of them were not here when we're in the conflict. Nobody prays for conflict in this country. They always say it. I want our country peaceful. But the point is, we are thinking that we must not repeat the history, the wrongs of the past. The people who repeat the wrong of the past that cause them the problem, they are people who are ignorant. And many actors, some of them were even sucking breast when we're in the dilemma of the 14 years. So they did not understand the 14 years from 1990 to present, the dilemma, the catastrophe that we experienced. Some of them were all around insulting people when they speak as a Liberian.
How y'all doing? I hope everybody is doing okay.
Some of them were even sucking breast milk. They never knew what happened here. So when you say something, instead of them to listen and learn, they refuse. But history tells us that history.
I hope all of you guys are doing okay, right? I hope all of you guys are doing okay. Let me take these jokers from here.
If you don't understand your history when you're making political.
Let me take these jokers from here in the. All right. So, how y'all doing? I hope everybody is doing okay. I see 50. You know, when I go on StreamYard. When I'm streaming directly from StreamYard, welcome to the podcast, everybody. When I'm streaming directly from StreamYard, what happens is that Facebook distribute, but they do not distribute as when I'm going directly on my page. So guys, welcome to the podcast. Let me see who there. I see Marsha Snelling, sweetheart. How you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Odesco Tape, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Let me come up here again to find those who started commenting earlier. Okay, this is Marcia. Marcia say hello. I hope you're doing okay, Marcia. Odesco, how you doing? Jeremiah Bayan, how you doing? Who there again? Keep sharing the podcast, guys. Momoti Johnson, how you doing? And Samuel 20 is a friend. Momoti Johnson, how you doing? And Marcia say maybe you was on that was in mind a man feed everybody. You see, everybody who is of age, talking about the one case, people who are of age, okay, your crowd, we are crowd of boys, you say, maybe some of you were sucking at breast. Even if they were sucking at breast during the war, it has nothing to do with what is going on presently. These are the real people who are suffering the pinch of the economy. The economy should have grown yesterday. Okay? Hey, Princess, how you doing? The economy should have grown yesterday. Hey, Agnes, how you doing? So, guys, before we begin the show, share the podcast. Let's take a few bars of these songs. Okay, let's take a few bars of these songs. Let's go. JMB. I hold on, there's you.
Everyone say, jump, 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 jump.
Oh, come on, guys.
For too long the people have struggled. For too long the nation has cried. Young people searching for of Nimba to every corner of the land. The people calling, the people rising. People calling, the people rising. People rising. From the soil where the warriors stand, a strong sunrise to serve the land.
Sharing,
City, the people crying for unity, young and old all joining hands, praying for peace across the land. Oh, the country need development, need more hope and government, need leaders who can hear the cry and help the future multiply. Oh, Liberia, stand together now. Hey, no division, we gon' make it somehow. Raise the flag and let it fly. A better future by and by. The people dancing under city lights, the market of women singing strong, children laughing all along.
So, guys, how you doing? Welcome, welcome to the podcast. Okay, welcome to the podcast. You know, all of a sudden, you see, the guys from the CDC, they've begun attacking the GSC. Look, we have to be serious in our country. For far too long, the Liberians have cried for a leadership that will fight corruption. And today we have a leadership. So you see, people are having the sycophants all around the country because they are not the one who are doing what is happening today. These people came to power. They accused the Unity Party government then for 12 years that the government was corrupt. And nobody can deny that the government was not corrupt. where we saw the issue of Big Ball 1 and Big Ball 2, corruption King Kong, where Charles Salih or Robert Salih at Local was said to have been very corrupt, and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took a blame for that. She said she took the blame. So it's not that the UP government in 12 years, it was not corrupt. But the thing here is that when these guys came to power, people told them, and the UPs themselves told them, you said we were corrupt. Now it is your time to persecute us. What George Weah said, we are all Liberians. That's what George Weah said, right? George Weah said that we were all Liberians. He was not going to try anybody. And under the same administration, Gazwa did a lot of audits in Liberia, and they hailed and praised that audit. Why all of a sudden they are attacking this General Auditing Commission and the Auditor General? So the Auditor General have issued a daily audit report that ranges from 2018 to 2024. Now, there's the thing. When Gafwan took over in September of 2024, the Accountant General noticed that receipts and revenue accounts, they were not adding up. And he briefed his new boss, Gafwan, and Gafwan asked an integrity account. Look, this guy is one of the men with the most integrity when it comes to professional life. That guy, I haven't seen anybody who is really afraid of that character to be tinted, to be stained just a little. So the guy reached out to the Auditor General to do a sweeping audit. But then the Auditor General was already carrying out an audit of the general revenue account. So Gafwan asked him to spread over 2024. It means the finance minister before him, the one who acted, and even he, Gafwan, for 2024, that means from January straight to December. So this is not a witch hunt. This is auditing the system and making sure that nothing went wrong. So why are these guys crying? So yesterday, the finance minister, the LRA Director General, and the central bank governor held a joint press conference. Let's listen to what Gafwan said yesterday.
I'm honored to have with me the executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, Governor Henry Samoa, and the Commissioner General of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Honorable James Double-Jala. We've called you here today to speak to you on an issue of great significance to our country. But let me firstly apologize for the delay. There were a lot of conflicts. Thanks for your patience. And I will read our prepared statement.
Keep sharing the podcast, guys, please.
We'll some questions.
Keep sharing.
Nearly
Thank you, Agnes.
ago, the Auditor General released the General Auditing Commission's Compliance Audit Report on the Government of Liberia revenue collection and reconciliation processes for the period 1st July 2018 to 31st December 2024. This audit marks an important milestone in the government's ongoing effort to strengthen transparency, accountability, and public financial integrity.
Now, the intention of audits is not to go and witch hunt somebody. Audit is meant to find out if that entity or the institution is going by what is said to be done. Like in the financial management law, there are things you have to do according to the Liberia GAAP, generally accepted accounting principle, that every government institution has to follow. When it comes to procurement, the General Auditing Commission also does procurement audits to make sure that all of the others are followed. So audit is not just on finance. Audit is also done on logistics, is done on procurement and other things. So in this case, what was happening to the general revenue account, it was not adding up. So in order to make sure to understand what was the problem, that in real accounts, what is in real account was not corresponding to tax receipt. So the tax administration, it was not adding up. So the finance minister, the LRA and the CBL decided that there should be a real sweeping audit to understand what is the problem. Sometimes these audits are done to see if there are some glitches, some errors in the system in order to be able to correct this, the problems that are in the system. But in this case, imagine we're talking about 2.80 billion United States dollars between 2018 to 2024 December. That is not a small amount. And I see these guys passing around here and attacking the Auditor General, some of them attacking the Finance Minister, attacking Double Jala, attacking the CBL governor. Why are you afraid if you know you did nothing? If you know you did nothing, why are you afraid? Why cause noise? Let's continue to listen to Gafuan.
Today, we have convened this joint press conference to provide context and background to the audit, highlight its key findings, and outline the concrete actions already undertaken and those currently underway by the government to address the issues identified and further strengthen our public financial management systems. In late 2024, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Liberia Revenue Authority, and the Central Bank of Liberia detected emerging discrepancies between revenue reported in the tax administration system and deposits reflected in the government's consolidated revenue account at the central bank. As custodians of public trust, we could not and would not ignore these concerns. We took immediate and decisive action. On January 6, 2025, with the full endorsement of the LRA and the CBL, I formally wrote the Auditor General requesting an independent investigation into the variances between the tax administration system that we call TAS, the tax reported revenue, and actual deposits as at December 31st, 2024. In that letter, I stressed the need for a full, impartial review to determine the source of the discrepancy and strengthen the integrity of our national revenue chain. The Auditor General informed me that the GSC was already in advanced stages of an audit covering the period 2018 to 2023, and that given the sensitivity and potential risks associated with such review, the GSC had been proceeding meticulously and cautiously. The Auditor General welcomed our request to extend the audit period through 2024, recognizing that including the most recent fiscal year was essential for a complete and credible assessment. Although we initially expected the audit to be completed by May 2025, the GSC requested additional time to ensure a thorough and professionally executed review. We respected that request because a credible audit requires diligence, independence, and technical rigor. The audit report highlights several critical issues that require immediate attention. Among the most significant findings were discrepancies between revenue recorded in transitory bank accounts, TBA, held at commercial banks, and the general revenue account at the Central Bank of Liberia. Discrepancies between revenue recorded in the tax administration system tax and the general revenue account, GRA, at the CBL. Variances between bills and payments in the automated systems for customs data, ASECUDA, and the Liberia Integrated Tax Administration System, LETAS. Discrepancies between revenue receipts recorded in ASECUDA and those recorded in the tax administration system, TAS. Unauthorized withdrawals in transitory bank accounts held at commercial banks. Irregularities associated with reversal transactions in transitory bank accounts. Untimely remittances of government revenue from
So guys, what is happening here is that between 2018 to 2023 December, there are a lot of things that went on with the Liberian people money. This has nothing to do with witch hunt. Okay? Now, audit is not meant to witch hunt somebody, but Samuel Twell was the fiscal governor of the country. This is the man who authorized disbursements in millions of Liberian people taxpayers' money. So, most of the times these things are meant to clear the doubts of the new system that is operating that institution. In the case, Augustine Gafuan. The LRA is also borders upon the character of Dawah Jala. It also borders upon the character of the central bank governor. So in order to understand what is causing these discrepancy between the payment of tax by taxpayer, remittance into the account to the commercial banks, and then when the amount is in transit before it gets to the central bank, you have the transitory accounts. Now, sometimes during the audits, some of these monies have not hit the consolidated revenue accounts. So the auditor will be able to see that there's a receipt, but this money is not in the account. But equally so, the audit was, that is not a problem because when the money is in transit, it's going to get into that account. But what are some of the things that were discovered? Monies deposited in the commercial bank while they were in transit. Some of these monies were withdrawn from the transitory accounts. And so that is why you see the finance minister, the central bank governor, and the LRA boss, they went and briefed the president. They endorsed the report. Everything the auditor general, look, you think Gafan, who is the finance minister, if the man was corrupt, do you think he will ask the Auditor General to audit the period of 2024? He wouldn't. But when your hands are clean, you have nothing to worry about. Why were they withdrawing money from the transitory accounts? Even this discrepancy could be minor discrepancy, but we're talking about over 2 billion United States dollars. Why is it everything about the CDC government? Corruption is associated with it in the millions and millions. Now we're talking about discrepancy of 2 billion. Imagine just one term Liberia gave to these people. Just one term. We are crying for the Liberian people, taxpayers' monies in the billions of United States dollars. Do you know how many millions these guys went away with? You saw Arthur Johnson crying right now. They have taken the appeal to they have filed a writ of prohibition to the Supreme Court to stop the investigation of Juror Temporary. Because these people know what happened. Billions. These people walk away with government as millionaires. And it's so frustrating that you will see Liberians whom these monies should have been benefiting, or these monies, when they are restituted, it will benefit them. These are the same people that call themselves the downtrodden. They are the ones fighting back against government, fighting corruption. If you put the country into the hands of those thieves again, do you know what is going to happen? Because Joshua is not coming back. This is the only man in that political institution that he's not capable, but can be president, because it depends on his population, on his popularity. Now we're talking about 20,500,000, almost 21 million. In Grand Bassa County, we're talking about millions that cannot be accounted for under the county administration. But who was disbursing the funds to the county? It was Samuel Tuah. So they want it to look as though the government is witch hunting Samuel Tuah, but the government cannot witch hunt Samuel Tuah, because Samuel Tuah was the chief disburser of all of the monies in 6 years. So where are doubts, he has to be called. Some of them will be just minor mistakes or misunderstanding. He has to come and honor and dispel and clarify those misunderstandings. How can Liberians see themselves at this stage where people are fighting for you and you fighting the system back? It's sad. And then you see the one they call Benedict attacking the Auditor General, saying the math doesn't add up. Now they keep on with something. Let me just try to read it. Let me see if I can read it. It said today they know that the Auditor General's math cannot add up. This is what they wrote. They're passing through these weak pages. These are now blocks. These weak pages with like maybe 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 29,000 followers. I won't call out that page name. Because calling those kind of pages name, I'm just giving them visibility. But these worms pages are the pages that you go use to attack the Auditor General and the Finance Minister. Why y'all can come out right there for y'all to fight? Why y'all can come out right there to fight? You're hiding. Now, this is what they wrote. Okay, the $1 billion audit that can't find a single stolen money. Okay, then I clicked on it. I came somewhere. They're talking about throughout the entire audit, the audit could not point out where money was stolen. These people are ignorant. It means that they know that they stole money, because audit is not meant to spare out that money was stolen. That is not the essence of the Auditor General, to do an audit and say money was stolen. So it is very ignorant of them to pass through the kind of a weekly to write against the Auditor General and say the entire over 50-page document from the Auditor General or the General Auditing Commission does not point out that money was stolen. Even when money was stolen, the Auditor General will never put in his report that money was stolen. That is why they use these professional jargons. Now, when they talk about discrepancy, these are the professional jargons they will use. They will never say the money was stolen. They will say discrepancy in this, in collection, discrepancy in account. There is no document to verify, because I'm going through the other reports. There are so much expenditure under the 6 years administration of George Weah and Samuel Tuer as the finance minister. Most of the expenditure do not have documents. Now, you as a finance minister, you know that before you make a disbursement for an entity, if that entity apply for an allotment to be disbursed, that entity should serve you also the expenditure plan, how they are going to expend that money. That is part of the PFM, the Public Financial Management Law. And not just only you as finance minister, that institution must also furnish the PPCC with the procurement plan. And the PPCC will evaluate the procurement plan and then onward communicate to the finance ministry that they've reviewed and the procurement plan is good, and the finance minister can execute disbursement. But how did the finance minister execute disbursements when the audit report is saying most of the expenditure that was done, there is no document. There is no document to verify the procurement. So how did he disburse his money when he didn't? Because you must have documents from the PPCC to tell you that this procurement plan is good. We endorse it. But the GSC didn't see, in most of the instances, in the other report that have been released, so many government institutions cannot account for monies that they use, the Liberian people money. Guys, let me put the laptop on charge. They cannot account for the Liberian people money. Yet, you have these same hungry people. Some of them who are even agitating have not even eaten since day. And these people that will go to the best restaurants and go and eat, and they will remain in that slave syndrome, the slave mentality, because they want to be into people's pocket. They will continue to agitate against the state, especially the young guys, the young kids from the University of Liberia. While we are on government buy to make sure that tuition and fees are not increased, what just yesterday or day before yesterday, okay, the president of the University of Liberia on Lux Radio, she spoke outright loudly that they were going to increase fees. They were going to increase it. And in the evening, she doubled down on her words, because we were using background channels to pressure the University of Liberia that should not be done, because most of the young people who are attending the University of Liberia are self-sponsored. Most of them do not have jobs. How do they think that woman reverse her decision? They were just going to come into the street and yell and cry. They will be forced to go and pay. But these are the same ignorant young men and women who are saying Samuel 12 is being wished on them. It is not about Samuel 12. It is about an individual. It's not about the name Samuel 12. It's about the person who occupied the position to disburse the Liberian people money. There are so many doubts about millions and billions of dollars that should be accounted for. Discrepancies, misunderstanding, misappropriations. The guy should answer. Why disbursement lines are confused and the auditors do not understand. And the documents are released. And the finance minister and the rest of the colleagues, they review it and they say, yeah, we endorse it. Because even in our report, Gafwan is a finance minister in 2024. So Gafwan himself should be worried, right? But why Gafwan is not worried? Why is Gafwan endorsing a report that gave a discrepancy of about $2 billion? It's because he knows that he has integrity. And whatever is stipulated in there, that is why the president have requested the Justice Ministry and the LACC to look into the report, get experts to review the report, because the finance minister cannot say there was corruption. No, he's not close with that authority. They can only brief the president and tell them what they think about the report. And the president have ordered the justice minister and the LACC to individually, as separate entity, review the report and wherever necessary, take action. Look, anybody like it, they can cry. Anybody want, they can cry and cry blood. But stealing has taken place in Liberia for far too long. How will Samuel 12 says he and his lawyer sit in the court and say, as finance minister, he has the right to take money and use it anytime, give it to anybody in government. As finance minister, that is the perception they gave to the court and the juror, and that was a complete lie. And today, what is happening? They want to cry. If you felt good to sit in that position yesterday, if you say you are as finance minister, you have the authority to disburse money at will, then you must be able to come to account for your stewardship as the finance minister of the Republic of Liberia for 6 years. So the Justice Ministry is looking into that. So that is done for that. Now, you just saw in that press conference, he and his lawyer, they were crying. They have taken it before the Supreme Court. They have filed before the Supreme Court, the Justice in Chambers, Judge Yusuf Kabar, to prohibit Criminal Code A from Criminal Code C from investigating. Now, 3 of the jurors, they came forward and confessed. They said there was juror tampering. So the court is now investigating. Arthur Johnson said the court has no authority to investigate. If you know you didn't do anything, why can't you allow the court to investigate? If you know you never do anything wrong, why can't you give the court the chance to investigate? You have run to the Supreme Court. And so right now the investigation have been put to a hold until the Justice in Chamber can issue an opinion that the court should go ahead to investigate, or the court has no jurisdiction to investigate an accusation of juror tampering. Look, guys, let me tell you, none of these people the country bled. These millions and millions we are talking about, Liberia should have reached a budget line of $1 billion under the 6 years term of George Weah. But these people, they were only after themselves. I believe Arthur Johnson. Arthur Johnson taught me way back at the University of Liberia when you were in the law school. The man used to take our whole class. When he finished studying and cramming to a horse, the man would kind of take the whole class. I think that public administration we used to be doing. I think social science 1 or 2. Yeah, social science 1 or 2, something like that. The guy just used to come, social science 1 or 2. The guy is just talking law. The guy used to be practicing on us in the class. Arthur Johnson. The guy used to be practicing on us in the class. I'm telling you, in real life. I'm talking about around, I think around 2005. Around that time. So, hey, my brother Chair, how you, Mr. Tapper, how you doing? So, what is happening here is that they are using these warrant pages, these spineless pages to fight back against the system. Because even Darius Doe is crying today again on a Yega Koluba opinion that was released by the Justice in Chambers, Yusuf Kaba. But we're coming to that part. So this case is not over anywhere yet. Arthur Johnson is saying it's a win shot because just barely a week, his client has been called again for another investigation. This guy was the chief financier of the government. So for every instance where there are doubts, the guy will be called to go and clarify. If the clarification cannot be clear, the guy will have to go to court. So if you do not want to clear doubts, you do not want to be held accountable, do not hold government position. Because once you hold government position, you will be made to account tomorrow. The next time they will come back to power, maybe in the next 30 years or the next 36 years, they can carry out audits of the government that would have left that time and they took over. But JMB, after they say the next 6 years, then we bring Jeremiah Kun first 6 years, and then we bring Jeremiah Kun 24 years. But then again, we have breeded somebody in the party that can take over leadership, then we make that person to win again. So Liberia was supposedly be almost a one-party system for most of our existence until God called us. So that CDC, forget it. So guys, today, the judge in Chambers ruled on the Yega Koluba case. He handed down his opinion and denied the right for declaratory judgment. So it means that Yega Koluba expulsion still stands. But what happened? His lawyers accepted the ruling but took exception to the full bench of the Supreme Court. That means they appeal. They made an appeal. So in the Supreme Court also, you can make appeal. Because at a certain point, all cases go to one judge, and that judge is the one who is in Chambers. So when that judge passes an opinion, what happens if you are not satisfied, you have to accept it, but you can take an exception. When you take an exception, it means that you've asked for the full bench of the Supreme Court. So now, Yega Koluba case is now going before the full bench of the Supreme Court. So let's listen to Floma, how you doing? Floma is calling from Pipeline. And my brother, Mr. Tabe say he is there quoting opinion. I remember holding a cram jelly that man. Okay. So let's listen to some of the one of the representative and Yeke Koluba's lawyer who represented him today at the Supreme Court.
It is a sergeant at arms. So even when you serve on a member of the legislature, you have not yet served the House of Representatives until it is served on the sergeant at arms, because it is spelled out within the law.
So you know this criminal Stanton Waterspoon, all the cry he was crying. The Justice Chambers said the writ was not served well. And this criminal called Stanton Waterspoon on his platform crying every day that the House of Representatives disrespected the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court prohibited them, stopped them from carrying out all proceedings until the matter before them can be adjudged or opined on. The same Supreme Court, that criminal called Stanton Waterspoon, the guy will back every criminality because he's a criminal. It is the same Supreme Court, Justice in Chambers, that is saying the writ was not served well. So if the writ was not served well, it means that the House of Representatives had the right to carry out the procedure. It means all of the procedures that went through to expel Yeke Koluba, it was done on legal ground because the House did not rightly receive the writ of prohibition. The House did not actually receive the writ from the court prohibiting them to stop every proceedings until the matter before it can be adjudged. So the same court, he been saying the House of Representatives disrespected the court, is the same court that is saying, even though we send it there, but the person who sent it did not give it to the right person. So every action the people carried out was legal. Now, they've taken an appeal to the Supreme Court. Do they think that even though everybody there on the bench is independent, but do they really think that the rest of the justices will overturn the opinion of the other judge? Do they really think that? Because all of these people almost think the same way. When you are a lower judge is one thing, when you are appointed on the Supreme Court bench is another thing, because it is an extra challenge for you to really read the law, continue to read the law, and understand the law. So for now, Yeke Koluba is legally expelled. So you know what his lawyers did? His lawyer asked him to go and apply for new diplomatic passport. The man is not a diplomat. Normally it should be official passport. It's one thing we do in Liberia. We mix the names of the passport. You have a diplomatic passport, you have an official passport. Yeke Koluba is an official of government. He's not a diplomat. So all of the people that are in the House of Representatives normally should carry official passports. They are not diplomats to carry diplomatic passports. So most of the passports these people carry are all official passports, including the ministers. The ministers do not carry diplomatic passport normally. They carry official passports. They carry official passports. And so, if the House of Representatives has given a clearance for Yeke to take to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to renew his official passport, they would have given themselves a finger in the eye, because it means that they endorse that he was not expelled and he's still a city representative. But they were smart to deny his request. Now, another thing is, why will Yeke Koluba need an official passport to go to visit his family in Ghana? You are not traveling in an official capacity. You are traveling as a family man going to see your family. That is why you are also entitled to your ordinary passport. The people abuse our passport. Look, let me tell you, corruption in the country is just too much. People traveling on our personal issues use official, and that is why the United States government has banned it. If you are going for a family visit and you're an official of government, you use an ordinary passport. They won't serve the visa again in an official passport when you're not going for an official visit or for an official reason to the United States. They are putting an end to it. Okay? So, Yaka Koloba is officially expelled until the full bench can opine on it.
Why did you use the word vindicated? Did this put a serious weight and a smell like on the House of Representatives because you used vindicated?
Yes, and particularly for some of us who were part of this process, we have received several negative comments from people that we have had a degree of regard for, and I think that they were doing it on the basis of their personal feeling. Your personal feeling is different from the law. We say to you, this is what the law says. You are not a member of the legislature. You do not have access to the House's rule. You have not read the House's rule. How do you come and debate with a member of the House who understands the House's rule, who is the custodian of the House's rule? So we just say to them, we are happy that we have been vindicated. And I was saying to you earlier before I left that the distinguished honorable did for his case. Because if I were in his situation, putting me in his shoes,
what would you have done?
The first thing I would have done was to take a glance at the rule, to get a copy of the House's rule and understand and peruse it to determine or to guide me in the procedure of service. But our reason best knowing to him, and the justice also said that though the return of the marshal, it is perceived to be correct, yet when challenged, it is proven it cannot be considered correctly. In this case, you don't just go say computer operator like we are repeated certain. Who is a computer operator? From which office? Not because I'm sitting at the judiciary now at the Supreme Court, so it means that I do work with the Supreme Court. Or it doesn't mean that I'm qualified, competent to receive documentations on behalf of the Supreme Court. Me at the Temple of Justice? No, you need to do a little much more research to understand. And let me say this to you, this is an opening eye for many of us legislators and even for the general public. Now, it has been stated clear on the manner and form of service. So if someone wanted to serve a service on the House of Representatives and the Senate, we go back to our rule. What the rule says is why you go back.
So guys, it's just what I wanted to brief you guys on. I need to take my shower also. I'm just from work. I'll leave the house over 6 o'clock. I'm just from work. I have to go shower and get ready for the class redo there. At least let me rest myself 1 hour before I can get on the class redo there also. Thanks to you guys for being there. Make sure you share the podcast while you are going. Normally, you know that our time is on the class redo there is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And then we can do our own personal podcast on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday if necessary. So thanks for being there. But we'll always do these pop-up podcasts during the week, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, where necessary to be able to brief you guys on what is going on in the country. So Macha said, man, what the hell is he doing with diplomatic passport? You know, because the guy is not a diplomat. So I don't know why they use, you know, it's the ignorance that is really suffering the country. Okay? You have diplomatic passports. Okay? You have official passport and you have the ordinary passports. And you have, I think, laissez-passer. I don't think they are issuing laissez-passer anymore. Okay, so only diplomats are allowed to travel with diplomatic passports. And only officials of government are allowed to travel or issue official passports. So every minister of government is issued an official passport. Members of the House of Representatives and Senate nominated should be issued official passport. It also carry a weight. And you know, then we who are not officials of government will carry ordinary passport because we are ordinary citizens. That's how it works. But Yaga Koloba talking about diplomatic passport. How do we issue diplomatic passport when you do not work within the diplomatic cycle? No, I know, right, my brother. So, guys, thanks for being there. Mr. Tapper says the thing's simple. You have an office, and you are the boss of that office. You have your secretary who received all of the communication and guests and set up all appointments and everything for you. And there comes someone that brought something for you. For you, the boss. Saw the generator. Tapa is smart. That's just what happened. Tapa is smart. Okay? The sergeant at arm or whoever it is from the Supreme Court should have issued that to I think the clerk of the court or the sergeant at arm of the House of Representatives. That's 1 minute. Hey, Masa. I mean, you're right. Taba just put it the simplest way. The office have structures. There is somebody who received these things for your office. And then they come and give to the generator man. They didn't sell it to the rightful person. Even if the house knew that the generator man received it, it is not official until it officially enters the hand of the person responsible to receive this communication in the behalf of the House of Representatives. So if you went and met a security in the yard and you give it to the security, the house have not been served. The thing is very simple. So what's time what else put crying all around here for? You know these guys that do not understand focal human being. Hold the line to the people. I think that they know these things, they understand them. Today, the Justice in Chambers is saying it was not served well. I'll catch you guys later on the class redo that. Thanks for being there. Make sure you share the podcast. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Let me go and take some shower. Bye-bye from my end. Let's take a few bars of this music again.
Every place, dreams returning to every face. The future calling loud and clear. Liberia moving without fear. From Bong to Grand Gate. So guys, let me leave you out there. Liberia rise again from the mountains of Nimba to every corner of the land. The people calling. Everyone say, everyone say JMB. Everyone say JMB.
For too long the people have struggled. For too long the nation has cried. Young people searching for
Okay, guys, I'll catch you later on the class reloaded, okay? Thanks for being there. See you guys.